Hi everyone! So I get asked a lot, what are my top tips in yoga? And I decided I'd make a video about it and just give you my top, tips and advice just so you can keep in mind if you're just starting your journey in yoga. Number one, I'd say don't compare yourself to others. It's a common mistake. I also did that and it made me really self-conscious. It can stop you from practicing. It can stop you from progressing. It can really increase your inner critic. So usually I think if you are new and you go in a class, let's say in person, hopefully you can go to in-person classes now with COVID. I know that it's very easy to sort of look around the room, feel like you don't know what you're doing, while everybody else has their leg behind their head and chilling. So I know how intimidating that can be. And similar feelings can be when you go to the gym for the first time and you don't know what you're doing. So I think my top tip is just focus on what you're doing. Focus on what you're doing, focus on your breathing, very important. And just try to sort of bring your attention back onto your own mat. If you look at others, and they're doing like really cool stuff, just look at it maybe as inspiration for you to maybe try some stuff later on when you're ready. Don't let your inner critic sort of tell you you're not good enough, or you can't do it, or you're not there yet. Because with practice and consistency, you can work towards some poses that maybe you think at the moment seem impossible. My second tip would be for you to invest in a good mat. Mats are super important. I know that it's nice to have a nice fancy beautiful mat. A lot of the time we buy mats because they're pretty. I know that the price has been upped as well in a lot of the good quality mats. So I can really understand why maybe we opt for maybe cheaper ones from TK Maxx or something like that. But from my experience, having had more expensive ones, cheaper ones, thicker ones, thinner ones, all of that, I think you have to try a few mats so you can see what suits you. So normally, I prefer a little bit of thickness, just because when I place my knee down, I like for it to have more of a cushion, because my right knee has some sensitivity. So I don't know about you guys, but if you feel like sometimes I feel my wrists, or my knees, or when I lie down, maybe I feel my back, or something, I would then suggest for you to get a thicker mat. That doesn't necessarily mean that the mat will be heavy if that's something that you're thinking of. It just means it's just thicker. So I have this thin one now here, which is actually, I'm impressed because I don't feel my knee on it. So I'm pretty happy. But it does have sort of cushioning at the bottom, so it's not just sort of flat. The other thing about mats, I'd say, it's hard to try it out before you actually buy it, but if you are sweating and the mat doesn't have good grip, then all you're doing, let's say in downward dog, is your arms are slipping, and then you can really easily get shoulder injuries that way, or your leg can slip, and it's just sort of disruptive in your practice, but you can also get injured, and it can set you out of alignment. So I would, sorry for my dog, but I would opt for mats that have really good grip. So DI Yogi mats is one of my favorites, and their grip is amazing. This is Vayu Mudra. It's one of my favorites again. It's amazing. I also got discount codes for both of those. But I'm sure that you can find other ones that work for you that are cheaper maybe, or readily accessible to you rather than going online. So I'm sure that you can find that, but make sure that the grip is really, really good. So that's the other important thing. And then I don't think I have anything else on mats. So the third tip for today is use props. So my main thing was when I was first starting yoga, and I started with Ashtanga in person. So I was very against using any kind of prop. I don't know why. I think it's an Ashtanga thing. You think, oh, I can just do everything on my own. If I can do everything on my own, why do I need props? Well, the thing is that props really help you with your practice. It can actually make it deeper, so you can increase the intensity and the difficulty. And then also when you're a beginner, maybe you're not as flexible, maybe you're not as strong, and the blocks, for example, can be so helpful. You can use them for strengthening drills, you can use them for flexibility, so they can just bring the floor higher up towards you, so you don't have to sort of round your back or pull a hamstring out or anything like that. Plus, there are so many ways that you can use props passively and increase your flexibility that way. For example, with yin, you can use your blocks, you can use your strap, and you can just be laying down and let gravity do the work and get into your fascia. So there are many, many ways to use props, and I encourage you to maybe get a set of props so you can use. And don't be scared of using them. It doesn't mean that because I'm using them and bringing them to the studio, I look like a total beginner and everyone's looking at me. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you're listening to your body and you're being creative in your practice and you're actually deepening it rather than you going and struggling. Much better. I wish I knew that and I followed that advice when I was younger and I was starting yoga. I think it would have helped me so much. So 3, and then number 4 in terms of advice, I'd say don't be scared to modify. So kind of that one, kind of goes with the props. So don't be scared of modifying your poses. Doesn't mean because we're doing yoga, I have to be super flexible already from day one, or I have to compete with anybody else, or do that pose on Instagram that I saw, because that's a good way of getting injuries, and I should know I've gotten quite a few just because I wanted to try different things, which is cool. I'm always that person to sort of dive head first trying different things, but I think I think it's also good to try things but have a limit so we don't get injured. Okay, so definitely modify, definitely listen to your body, definitely listen to your breath. If your breath is just disrupted, it's not easy for you to breathe in a pose, then that's a sign. That's a sign to take a step back or stay for less in the asana or something like that. So just, try and listen to the different cues and go from there. And obviously, if you're in person, then you can also ask your teacher for advice. You can tell them to check your alignment as well. And if you're on your own, I would suggest to maybe film yourself. So if you film yourself while you're practicing, then maybe from the side, then you can actually look at your alignment later on and you can make adjustments. Or use a mirror, but that's just harder because then you'd be sort of like looking in a downward dog. And the last piece of advice I have for you today is probably, I would suggest that you also do some strength training. So, yep, it doesn't sound fun. It's like, you're giving me more work to do. But to be honest, strength training is just so helpful. It's so helpful for your muscles, your bones, overall health, right? But also in yoga, I think it will help with active flexibility for you to access your flexibility safer because you will have the strength around the joints, so you're less likely to get injured. Plus, in yoga, we're always pushing. So we're doing chaturangas. We are on our shoulders, we're doing shoulder stands, all the time pushing, and we never pull. We never really use our back muscles. I mean, you do use them obviously, but you don't actually make that movement. Or maybe we don't focus so much on strengthening the hamstring. Usually it's lengthening and using the quads. So there are a few areas there where you can really work on your strength. And then if you do that on the side and then you do yoga, you got the best of everything. And you can just excel and progress faster. So definitely that one as well. I wish I knew that too. I did get a shoulder injury when I was sort of getting into Ashtanga because of all the chaturangas and jumping back. And then when I started doing some weights, it just really helped me. I never had an injury again in my shoulder. And I've been doing chaturanga and Ashtanga, like I haven't been avoiding it. So definitely strength training on this side. And that's my other dog. I'm really sorry. But those are my 5 top tips. Let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite or which one you resonated with. And now they're going crazy, so I'll let you go. But thank you so much for listening. Do subscribe and like my channel or the video if you liked it. And do find me on Instagram at Ismini if you wanted more content or if you wanted to connect with me, ask any questions. I don't bite, so you can also message me. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good day. Bye.